What's going on, everybody? Week 7 Monday Night Football double header. Let's get into it, boys. Exciting stuff. You guys know the drill by now. Utilizing every single boost we have out there, as well as finding some first touchdowns, anytime touchdowns, some EV bets, using Outlier always on Mondays. So thank you, everybody, for hopping in. Let me get the promotion, as always, going quickly. Live now. And let's get right to it. We have 2 games, of course. One game kicking off in a little bit. We also have MLB, ALCS game 7. Again, game 7, the best words in all of sports. Now, we can definitely see if we can find a quick prop toward the end after we get some stuff going. I mean, that game's got 2 hours. I know that football is dominating the brain, but might as well sweat a little bit of EV betting on or EV plays on week 7 if we have it, of course. I mean, on game 7. Let me get my promo out. You guys know the drill. One more quick tweet. Get everybody in chat, and we can get started going through everything. We'll talk about the games holistically. We'll look at the market movements. We'll look at some of the best props, EV, everything that we could possibly ask for from Outlier. We'll be making sure that we take advantage of it. And we're going to get right to it. Let me just get this free trial code. Also, under the tweet, there's a free trial code for Outlier. If you guys are interested in trying it. So you can click that link and get set up with a Outlier free trial. A lot of people I know have taken advantage of it since we started doing it with the stream, and I've got a lot of really good comments, questions about utilizing the platform, and hopefully continue to get that stuff going right about now. So, Bucks Lions, a fun one. We got Baker Mayfield, of course, leading the MVP charge currently. Not the best in odds, but you guys know what I mean. He's up there. Jared Goff and co. doing what they normally do. Let's look at some of the odds movement based on just today of how the numbers have been moving. Looking like a little bit of Detroit money. Let's just go to Penny and Circa, get them isolated here. We can take a look at some of the more detailed odds movements, but Circa had the Bucks at like 225. Bit of a boost there to 235. Now back down to 220. Magnifico, what's poppin', brother? Thanks for hopping in as always. This is a game where I like a lot of people are definitely intrigued by Detroit. Like now Detroit's obviously like as real as it gets. Like they're a great team. Looking at some of this odds movement as well, the history, just this money line here. We've definitely seen the market move in Detroit's favor. We saw some 5.5, some 6s. Best player prop for the Bucks. We're getting there, brother. We're getting there shortly. We'll get into everything there in just a minute. We're doing a quick outline of the game holistically, and we'll be cooking parlays with the boosts as well as taking best straight bets. Bucks, of course, are a unique situation here, but I do have a best bet in mind for them coming up, and we'll check some best odds in market here. Let's go back to the spread. Yeah, I missed it. We're seeing a 5.5 here, but plus 105 at ESPN. There are some 6.5 is out, 6.5 still even out there in market here. ESPN themselves, 6 being a pretty key number. I'm intrigued by the Buccaneers. I haven't bet anything yet, and of course, betting like this close to game time is a little of a cardinal sin. But I'm really debating just taking Tampa Bay right now. Let's see. The Lions, their injuries on defense are so significant that Baker and the way he's been playing, like let's go back to the injury report here as well. We know no Godwin, we know no Bucky, but Ibuka looks like he's probably going to go, and we do know also that Mike Evans was likely to go. So that's definitely a lot of help for this Buccaneers team. And like this Lions team, I don't know if they could stop anybody. Like we'll go check out their games quickly and get an underdog pulled up so I can make sure I see any last minute updates here for this one. Yeah, Ibuka good to play, of course. Very nice. Hamstring good to go for Mike Evans. Awesome. This injury report is a CVS receipt, especially in the secondary. Got Brian Branch suspended for that. We have also in the secondary specifically, Avonte Maddox is out. DJ Reed, Ennis Rakestraw. Just really a decimation to their team. Stupid EV on Morant 7 plus a 6 at B365. It's 120, but the prop line is 110. Yeah, get in on that. Get in on that. Absolutely. Make sure you do mask your account a bit, but absolutely seeing that much EV, that's definitely worth taking a look at. But the Lions here. So looking at their results so far, of course, we know they had that stinker to start the season. Came back with a vengeance against their old OC. Beat up Baltimore. Beat up Cleveland, beat Cincinnati, and then got beat by the Chiefs. But again, there was a little bit of like referee nonsense, but also the Chiefs offense is probably the best in football at this point, if not absolutely top 3. Let's look at some props right now for this game, and we'll pull up some EV stuff, I'll have the other tab going. Let's stick to Buccaneers Lions. I'm intrigued by a Baker Mayfield rushing prop. His passing touchdowns, wow, minus 180. Makes sense considering the key injuries there. But getting some of the talent that he has back, I like Baker Mayfield rush yards. Let's see here. 19.5, 102 at FanDuel. I feel like I saw it 18.5, 112. So this price is actually technically worse than the 19.5 at 102. Let's go back up and look at the EV for this. DVing to Penny, they're minus 119. Caesars is a book to, FanDuel is a book to DVig from itself, and primetime Mayfield rushing stats are great. Yeah, they're always fun, especially considering what he's done this year with some rushing. Now, going under this number against Philly, Seattle, San Francisco, and make sure we're looking at just 2025 here, but had some 3 massive rushing games to start off the season. 3 games where he still was getting a decent amount of rush share here. Looking at his median rush share, 3.5 rush attempts a game, had 3 in this one. Had some kneel downs in this game as well to take away from that total. 5 against Seattle, just didn't get there. Only 2 against Philly, who also hasn't really been great. Look at opposing quarterbacks, how they've done against Detroit. Caleb just under his number. Lamar, taking a much more passing approach, which is obviously understandable. Browning flying over, and Mahomes, of course, a mobile quarterback in his own right, with like no rush game there, getting over as well. So a lot to think about there for the spot. Now, I kind of do want that 1 yard, but value is going to be the key driver here. And seeing again the EV for this being at the 19.5. So I guess technically like an alt line, how FanDuel and co like to, juice up those numbers a bit. I'm going to switch over to the EV screen in just a second here. Loading up my props. And let's see where we find some EV just from the get-go, and we can go and dig in and see what we want to bet from here. I'm going to turn on Novig and Profit. There's going to be a lot of EV stuff showing up there, but I do like to deviate from those books. And as we saw last week, Bet Rivers was activated, which is awesome. So we could definitely look at some Rivers stuff, some combi. Sterling Shepard touchdown. Let me pull this up. I was not expecting to see this, but already liking it. We know that Godwin and, that Egbuka and Evans are back. But with that being said, I don't think that should take so much away from Sterling. Now, there's these 2 options, of course. Evans, of course, had missed some time as well. No Bucky, but this defense is so bad, and Sterling is like a good wide receiver 3 at this point. I'm very intrigued by this. 390 at Profit X, 360 at DK, 350 at FanDuel, down to 326 at Novig. This is interesting to me. Worst case scenario showing 5.9% EV to Penny. Sterling Shepard to score a touchdown. This might be a wager. Let me take a look at Profit X here and see some of the liquidity that they have for this one. Where's Profit? Right there. Let's pull it up. K-Dot and TD's EV too. Okay, that makes sense, honestly. Looking at some of the lower down the line guys, I mean, the fact that the Bucks are also 6.5-point dogs and that's still staying. Yeah, the Profit X right here. K-Dot anytime. Sterling, Otten receptions over for Hard Rock as well. Seems like a bit of like a pricing conundrum per se. Okay, only 27 cents, which doesn't make it, EV if you can't bet it. So Sterling on, is not really EV at Profit X. It is. So this, I'll showcase the liquidity here. We're going all the way down here. We're 27 cents of cash. So K-Dot and TD. Shepard is not EV there, but at 360 it still is EV, 5.99%. Let's pull it up at DK and confirm. But this is looking like a good place to start right now. Absolutely, for one of our first bets. Shepard 360. Yeah, I'm in. Now we can pull up exactly with the calculations here. We'll switch to, we're at quarter Kelly perfect. 0.42% of the bankroll for this one compared to the market average. I'm using worst case because don't want to overestimate and overbet any EV. But loading up DraftKings on my phone right now. I'm locking in Shepard. Now the question then becomes, do we also lock in Shepard for King of the End Zone? There's my boy AEC. Because I knew the promo was live today. This becomes the question: is Shepard a good target for this? Let's look at some of his other metrics here. Like, what's his longest reception? How he's been doing over the course of the season? A 36 or a 24, a 19. So there is that downfield possibility for Shepard. Let's look at Otten. I also want to see yards after the catch as well. 17 average per game, median of 8.5. So that number does get brought down a bit. Had a big one against the Jets after the catch, and the longest reception was 24. So I guess what happened there? Let's look at Otten and let's see like which one is worth it for the boost. Though I think the EV, Bet Rivers for his longest rec is the best price, but he has a 23 to 27. Let's go back to the EV screen and see what price we're at, because we're seeing Otten for at Profit X, but let's see the liquidity there, because it could be a similar situation to that's Shepherd, where there's really not enough liquidity to call that EV. But with Otten's case, there is 320, 953, absolutely. So at DK for the promo King of the End Zone, it's not worth it, but of course at this point on it, Shepherd is. So I'm going with Sterling Shepherd for the King of the End Zone qualifying bet. Let's go. Sterling Shepherd locked and loaded for the King of the End Zone. So there is the ideally longest touchdown score of the day is going to be Shep on that beautiful turf in Detroit, Michigan. Hopefully, he's got the speed on the grass, playing against some backup DBs, man. If they're going to probably have to do everything they can to try to stop Igbuka. And also from a perspective of the betting for the promo to optimize the promo's actual like EV as well. The fact that probably so many people are going to be on Igbuka or Evans or Jameson Williams or of course Amon-Ra, definitely worth considering there, and locked in Shepherd. So let's do that. JSN showing some value here. This is we haven't gotten to this game yet holistically. I'm going to switch back to the traditional prop screen now, and we'll kind of go through some things a little bit more manually before we dive into some of the more EV stuff for some of these games. But this is absolutely a intriguing spot right now. Let's see. So what props are flashing? We have some Rachaad White unders for rushing, receiving. Of course, expected to be like he did last week, predominant back there. What's Evans at? 4.5. Of course, injury concern is there. 4.5 at FanDuel. We know no Godwin. 4 against the Jets. We got to stick to 2025, of course. Evans not getting open the same way he's been, though. Of course, we know Atlanta's defense is pretty good. Houston's defense is great, and we know the Jets' defense is abysmal, though. But again, that was a little bit of a wonky game. The Jets ended up covering. We know what happened there with the last-minute score for the Buccaneers to win it. 9 targets, 11 targets, 8 targets. So on the field, he is still getting the love that you'd expect to get or give to Mike Evans, I should say. He is still putting in those WR1 numbers, obviously in chase of that 1K season, as always. He's got to keep up the streak there. That would be sick if he does. I really hope he does. Especially because like the books, their line was like 999.5, like basically begging you to take the over. Of course, miss some time. But I'm going to pull up some more numbers here because I'm interested, of course, in all things Jahmyr Gibbs always. I know the rush defense is stronger for the Buccaneers, and like his rushing game hasn't been like too ridiculous. It's been, I guess, kept in check for a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs. But I did see some Dan Campbell quotes that that he wants to balance the backfield out a bit more. I think that's why we're seeing this number be like a bit lower than you'd expect for Gibbs because of that coach speak. Let's look at how it's moved. It's been as high. This is 3 days ago. So it's been sitting at the 60 at open, though. We had it open at 7.5 5 days ago, 70.5, excuse me. Then it got bet back down immediately, and now it just keeps dropping. Definitely have to assume that some of the conversations that, or I should say the media speak for their head coach, Dan Campbell, straight up saying we need to get Montgomery more involved. Let's filter by props that we probably care more about. And of course, we bet in some first touchdowns and using the parlay boosts as well. I opted for the FanDuel like 30% SGP boost over the 2 live boosts. But let's get passing yards in here, pass TDs, completions, attempts. Let's keep rocking here. Receiving yards, receptions, rush attempts, rushing yards, rushing receiving, and you can do some sacks. Never can't ignore the defensive props, and we'll add a touchdown there as well to see what else we can find. But Baker, this number is so high. I mean, understandably so. Understandably so, don't get me wrong. Xing out some tabs there. On the season, he's just been balling out, hitting 2+ pass TDs in almost every game. Didn't get there against the Jets, had 3 against Atlanta, 2 against everybody else except New York. And the statistics, of course, are favoring the defense. And Outlier also has a new feature, filter, I should say. Might be app only, actually, but they do have like a matchup sorting as well. But looking at how opposing quarterbacks did against Detroit this year, especially now we have their depleted secondary. Mahomes cooked them. Browning himself cooked them. Flacco, they kept under, but that was, again, a road Browns game, and we know how bad the Browns offense is. Lamar cooked them, and even Caleb got over that too in that first matchup there. So Baker, though, again, like minus 180, that's just like way too far out of range. But the rush yards, this has the EV. Let's see quarter Kelly. This has the EV, the over at 19.5, though, again, the 18.5 does exist. DK has the 14.5 for an alternate line. This number has bounced down but gotten shot back up at 112. Rest of the market 122, or even it's at a different price. We're seeing basically 19.5 be the set number in market overall. The 102 has EV, so let's confirm it's there on FanDuel. I'm going to lock this in. Going to lock in Baker rush yards. Alternate, technically minus 102, but the EV is here with Baker. So I'm going with this Baker alternate rush yards. Let's do it. Rushing props. Baker Mayfield. Where's Baker? There he is. 20 plus minus 102. Done. Locked and loaded. Beautiful. What's going on? There's an error. Something went wrong. There's an error during the bet placement. Go to my bets to see if it was placed. Okay. What's going on here, FanDuel? Got a game in 2 minutes, in 20 minutes here. You're not letting me get down? FanDuel's bugging for me. Hold on. I got to try on my computer if this isn't working on my phone. Just closed it and shut it back down. Trying to give out a prop, man. I know I hit it in a primetime spot. Baker Stroud 20 plus. That's a great look. Let's figure it. Let's see what that is. Let's add that to slips right now. I hit a Stroud 30 plus rushing. I also hit a Herbert big rushing in one of the primetime games this year as well. So I always love it with Stroud, his rushing ability, and also this matchup against the Seahawks. Definitely could be running for his life, but I'm still trying to bet this on my phone. Let's just see if it's no. What the hell's going on? FanDuel not working on my phone. I gotta check my computer, but I'll get some plays going. Let's get Seahawks Texas in here. This is the game where I'm a bit more intrigued. Stroud. Let's get to see what the rushing 20 plus are for these two combined. Let's see, where's rush yards? 17.5 is the baseline, 19.5. So you're getting some plus chicken here. And parlay 312 at FanDuel. DraftKings doesn't even have Stroud 19 plus. So 312 looking like the best odds there. 282 ESPN. 365 not showing it. So Baker and Stroud 20 plus, the best odds right here at FanDuel. 312. Of course, if you have more outs, do make sure you're line shopping. But based on what we can see now, this is the best that we have for combining both of these. And first quarterback, Seattle 13th, averaging 15.8 a game. But let's look at some of the actual matchups here. Rattler went under. Kyler Murray flew over. Baker did not go over, and T-Law did not go over as well. But we know T-Law was running for his absolute life in that matchup. This game is interesting to me. This number is also bumped up, as we can see. Definitely expecting some more run from Stroud, considering that the Texans' O-line is so bad and the Seahawks' defensive front is coming off a massive pressure game. But it's worth mentioning as well, that's 321 on 365 for 365 users. It's worth mentioning as well, too, that to consider how bad the Jags' O-line might be, we saw Trevor Lawrence be under duress a lot in London against a good pass rush in LA, don't get me wrong. But is that a product of how good Seattle's pass rush is or how bad the Jags O-line is? So let's pull up some RBDSM and let's look at some offensive tiers right now and see some of these statistics. We know Darnold has been like the best quarterback. Let's go with the defense right here. I'll switch my screen in just a second. Um, Drop back success rate on defense. The Texans fourth in the NFL here. Seattle 13th. Um, Drop back EPA. Texans number one. So this really is the biggest test for Darnold and Co. I mean, he'd be a test for anybody. Like Darnold has played some solid teams. Don't get me wrong. But overall, like this is a test for Seattle as well. And going back to the games, there's 3.5 at 365 minus 120. There's been 3.5s up all week, but this is definitely the way I'd go about it now. Profit X 114, and Novik 116. Let's pull up liquidity because I'm actually going to bet this right now. Honestly, I know Houston is bad. Oh, there's more than enough liquidity at 3.5 minus 114. So let me go and check out. Let's see, 113. Yeah, more than enough liquidity at 114 there. I love this, honestly. Like, I think Houston, as bad as they are and how their offense is probably going to really struggle, I think that they absolutely can like hang around enough because their defense is so good. And it's been the JSN show. And I talked about this on stream Friday. We're going to pull up the numbers in just 1 second here. The numbers for Nico as well as JSN are so damn high. I want to see if it dropped. Let's see. Here we go. We gotta go to props here. Let's look at Nico and JSN. Because I know that JSN's a dog and what he's been doing is ridiculous and he's an animal. This is Russian receiving, but let's go back to receiving. Oh, this was dropped big time. Yeah, this was like up in the high 80s when I was looking on stream Friday when I called it out as something to look at, as you can literally see here by the odds history on Outlier. This has gotten way too low. I want to bet an under. That might be an alt, actually. Hold on. Under. Yeah, that is an alt. So there is definitely some good things to figure. This 88.5 at DK. I know he's getting a ridiculous target share. I know he's literally gone over and is destroying this number. But this Texans defense is so good. And it's not like they've played like absolute great teams either. Don't get me wrong. Like Baltimore without Lamar, Tennessee, we know how bad they are. Jacksonville, let's turn back a little bit. Puka, of course, premier wide receiver one, flew over that number, and Tay was able to go under. Igbuka went under. Evans went under. Sterling Shepard barely went over. Evans went under in a matchup against TV, who we know his offense is high-powered. Jacksonville, BTJ, and Travis held under, though, again, we know how ugly that game was in that, 17-10 matchup there. And then we have a couple of bad teams to kind of overinflate this defense and kind of make their numbers look better. But, I mean, still, this target share of 36.4% is ridiculously high. Realistically, it's like they just go out of their way to throw the football at the JSN all day, every day, whenever. Let's look at some of the injuries here. We have, of course, Mixon. So this secondary is healthy, especially coming off a bye week as well. And then now they had the extra night as well for Monday Night Football. I'm betting this under. Let's confirm its availability here. I know it's scary to fade a guy like JSN. I know his target share is ridiculous, and they rely on him to be that guy. And they're going to be scheming for him left and right like they always do. But this is, like, to me, like such a high number, and it's like unnecessarily high. Like, he's getting placed in that pantheon of like top receivers, which, like, from a pure target share and receiving yard perspective, he to a degree definitely deserves. Don't get me wrong, not hating on JSN at all, but at that point, I think the only way you can look is under. If he's going to get 90 plus receiving yards in this one and like against the Texans defense, where again, I'm not entirely sold still on Darnold, despite the numbers being amazing. Hold on here. Let me write this down. JSN under, and let me bet it on DK on my phone here. Got the Shepard. I also want to look at Collins under as well. But let's do a quick flip back to RBDSM and just look at some of the offensive like tiers. Let's go to quarterbacks now, just to show like how good Darnold has been. And look at this. We have Drake May, Jared Goff, and Sam Darnold as three of the most efficient quarterbacks in football. If somebody would have told me coming into the season, no Ben Johnson for the Lions, Drake May, of course, with Sam Darnold after a good year last year, but still like a relatively underwhelming season um, considering that the sorry, getting a text because I have a Mariners future. I had Mariners Dodgers exacted for the World Series, and like part of me kind of wants to hedge just because it's like it's been a 6 month sweat. I bet this in March, but part of me is also like it's a small $20 bet. Like the EV tells me, excuse me, the EV is saying absolutely don't hedge, but part of me does. Back to the point at hand though. Look at these numbers for Darnold. Just absolutely dominating. EPA per play. He is first in football. Completion percentage over expected, third in football. Air yards too. He's throwing the ball down the field, number one in football. EPA EPA CPOE composite, number one. He is the guy. And then the question becomes like, how long is Sam Darnold going to be the guy? Is he absolutely good? And like you have to change your priors on him. Anything you thought about Darnold before, you have to adjust. Absolutely. However, this is high. This is high. I'm fading. I'm under. What's your team? I'm a Commies fan, brother. Washington Commanders. We got smoked yesterday, but I think you're on stream yesterday. I bet Dallas, so like that was fun. But yeah, I'm a Commanders fan for better and for worse. Obviously, not looking so hot so far to start the season, but I was also on the train that regression was inevitable from last year. I mean, turnovers, easy schedule, backup quarterbacks, Jaden doing amazing. Zach Sharp receptions. Let's pull it up. Type in receptions Sharp. I saw some EV on Sharp over rushing yards earlier today. And I also want to point out this is a good segue because on the JSN fade, like I know they're absolutely dominating him, dominating the target share, and they're just funneling to him. But they're just a split 50-50 pass rush team, as we see here. Like they're running the ball as much as possible. They're trying their best to, but I saw some EV to Sharp rush yards earlier. Let's look at receptions here. Number is 1.5, 130, 144 profit, 155 no vig. So there is some plus chicken to be had here. What's his targets looking like? Only averaging a target a game. So he's a guy that has to be converting on a majority of his like pass attempts. Reminds me a lot of Bill. Using just like some general context here. Charbonnet is definitely a more like already proven receiver overall. Like we can go back to last year and just look at some of his numbers in the receiving game. Obviously, different coach, different OC, and he had that ability in the receiving game, evidently. But there's such few amounts of targets and total even pass attempts that it's like kind of hard to trust that like he has to get 2 targets and he has to convert on both of them. That's like asking for a lot, honestly, to be able to do both of those 2 things there. I personally don't love it though. The fact that it is as high as plus 144, I think is at least compelling a bit. And looking at how running backs, let's see how they've done out of the backfield against Houston. Rashad White and Bucky both went over. Tune and ETN neither got over. Pollard again, a lot more check down stuff over. And even Hill and Henry with Cooper Rush and that domination couldn't get over in a game where they were trailing miserably, pressure all up in Cooper Rush's face, and so on and so forth. So I'm gonna be inclined to say to lay off Charb. I'm not gonna say to fade and bet this. What's the odds with the under here? Like 145. Seeing some EV though. It's a penny. It's 184. So maybe the under is a good play. Let's go back to the boost that we have so far. We have the FanDuel, which again, is it going to let me bet now? Placing bet, taking a few seconds. There's something wrong with my FanDuel. I don't know if I know if like the AWS is down. So maybe that has something to do with FanDuel being down. If you guys have been betting there all day, let me know. Montgomery, longest rush over 12.5. So I actually like that, especially considering that they said again, they're going to want to balance out the backfield more and give Montgomery a lot more opportunity, and they don't like it being one-sided of a rushing share. Though when Jahmyr Gibbs is as electric as Jahmyr Gibbs to me, that's also like crazy. It's like, come on, man, we're talking about Jahmyr freaking Gibbs. Longest rush, 12.5. So he's gone over, like you said there, 4 of his last 5 this year, going back to the season 4 of 6 total. Buccaneers, of course, have a good run defense, I should say. FanDuel's at 11.5, minus 112. If I can't bet there, then there's no point. Let's see. Like rush attempts, only 4 against KC, and that's when they said they don't want that. Had 18 against Cincinnati. Did go over. Cleveland, best rush defense in football, did not go over. Baltimore cooked them with a long one. Chicago got over. Green Bay, of course, a great rush defense, was incapable of getting over as well. I see the vision, honestly, I do. Not a ton of odds history here on a little bit of an obscure player prop. Any notable DL injuries here? CJ Brewer is being sat. So the O-line injuries, Jason Jones been out for a minute. Kennedy, as we know, has been out on the IR. No, I see the vision, especially at home on the turf with Montgomery as well. I don't have really any strong thoughts to back or fade that, so definitely can see that for sure. Let's go back to the games here. So I bet Houston plus the 3.5. I kind of still like the Tampa plus the 6.5. I don't think the Lions cover. Like I might be drinking the Kool-Aid, and the fact that the market is also telling me like that they like the Lions, as this number has continued to take a bit of a move into Detroit's side, as we see like it was 5.5, got the 6.5 to 5.5. A lot of movement throughout the course of the day. But sitting 6.5, now it's getting down to 5.5. Now it's back up to 6.5 this close to game time. I think that they're expecting the Baker magic to kind of wear off, and I'm thinking of that kind of differently. I think that the Mayfield, not the Mayfield magic, but the Darnold magic is more likely to fade away, which is why I bet the Texans plus the 3.5 there. They're riding Bucks, but I think this might be a line spot. Like I get that. I totally get that. That's why I don't have a ton of conviction here. Like I don't have a ticket. I'm not saying like I disagree like big time or anything like that. We're on the same page with this being a tough spot, and we're talking about betting this like very close to game time. So not going out and putting like anything crazy on the line for this one here, but I could totally see that. Let's go back to the EV screen here, and let's see what else is popping for us. So let's get a refresh in. So we bet Sterling Shepard from the EV screen for the DraftKings bonus. Filters here have my props filter for the NFL. Have it filter just for NFL here. Sharp rushing yards over again. Like I said, I was seeing this pop up for a minute as well. I don't know. Like there's some EV now to the over on JSN at 105 at Novig and to his touchdown. Chubb rush yards seeing some EV as well at Profit X. Attempts under though, seeing EV. Maybe a bit of a reverse correlation there. I don't know if you're allowed to SGP those things. I feel like in most cases you aren't, unfortunately. Jaden Higgins touchdown. I actually want to look at quickly. I'm going back to just the traditional screen because I want to look at what the odds are, because we were seeing Jalen Noel on stream all day yesterday showing EV to score a touchdown. I want to see if that number moved big time, if I missed an opportunity there. I think maybe it was Higgins, actually, depending on the odds here. 11-1 for Noel. What was Higgins? Because I think there was a 13-1 available. And this is a good thing. It's like the bye week just happened, and it's like which of these receivers for Houston are going to step up of these young receivers. Here's Higgins. This TD 4-1. Okay, so it was definitely Noel. But there, it looks like the books are expecting it to be Higgins to be the guy to take a step forward now. Receiving yards 23.5. He got there against Baltimore. He had his targets. 4 targets against Baltimore, only 1 against Houston, against Tennessee. Early season 1-1. So Higgins not getting like a crazy target share. And overall, we have Nico dominating. Schultz, Kirk, who missed some time. Hutchinson, of course, has been pretty solid for them as well. But Jalen Noel, let's see him. So target share as well. 3 targets, 1 target, 1 target. They're really using these rookies like very sparingly. But one of them you would expect to like finally take this leap. Like I'm saying, just the question kind of is who. And maybe in terms of like route running, like snaps played, they're not really too far off. I mean, only 10 targets to 7 targets. Obviously, that's not like too sticky. Very small samples of them being on the field. Um, Woody Marks, let's take a look at him because I did see some value for him as well in rushing receiving. 50 and a half, 49 and a half, excuse me. Let's see. This has been kind of consistent in the market, not like a massive, a little bit of upwards for Woody. Um, had a game where he flew over against Tennessee, obviously kind of like a garbage time game. And maybe this is the time where the rookie does get the love. Maybe it isn't a receiver, it's a back because we know Chubb, unfortunately, looks like he's moving in quicksand these days. Let's look at rush attempts here. Woody doing a good job. Also leading in the red zone. What's his touchdown today? TD is 270. So seeing some EV to Penny. QK 270 at FanDuel, 275 actually at DK. Okay. Let's look at some of the odds timeline for them touchdowns. Sitting pretty consistent, a bit of a dip here at FanDuel, but then bounced back, and now it's gotten even higher closer to game time here. But we have, of course, this Bucks game kicking off shortly. Let's finalize our plays just for the Bucks game, and then we'll finish up and do a little bit of talk for Texans and Seahawks. Okay, so Bucks game right now. Currently, we have a Sterling Shepard anytime, but using the King of the End Zone boost on DK. Baker over rushing yards as well. That is bettable, but FanDuel has not let me bet anything. I don't know what the hell's happening. There's definitely a glitch because I'm still seeing the ability to live bet games from yesterday. Oh, there we go. FanDuel figured it out. So I just got in on Baker. Perfect. Let me just make sure I didn't bet it 40 times. No, only once. Okay. Perfect. Let's look at some first touchdowns. Buccaneers, Lions, player prop, first touchdown score. Gibbs, of course, massive chalk. Rashad at 850 is intriguing just because that's a pretty high price for like a clear cut RB1. Though, let's look at Rashad White's like red zone usage since him, taking over 4 and 3. So he's definitely the red zone guy. FanDuel having the best price here is a bit interesting, but let's add this to the slip here. 850. Seeing 850 at 365 as well. Also at DK. Let's see what it's at profit. 610. Okay, and at Novig, 762. I'm riding in the MGM. What is it? Because I have that promo. Like they have to have that available. I have it on my computer. Let me take a look here. Bet MGM. I think this Rashad White's honestly sexy. Like very at 850 for a RB1. I know that they're 6-point dogs. Don't get me wrong. We know what Detroit can do with the ball in their hands. But with that being said, first touchdown score, I'm looking at 750 on MGM. I'm locking this in. Let me confirm this price. All right, exit out. Rashad White 850. I like to do like a lot bigger odds for first touchdowns. I know everybody who's been on my Sunday streams or even my, game day streams are familiar with that. But the odds are definitely moving in the opposite direction. Like there's no way this is always 850. This is kind of like a tell per se. Let's look at the odds movement here. Yeah, we're seeing some big time. And it's going FanDuel was 850, down to 800, down to 750, back to 900, now settling it in at 850. I'm not deterred though, honestly. Like I'd like to, of course, try to bet the best price on market, deviate from FanDuel, deviate from like Circa, but I'm in for Rashad White. We're getting a great price on a wide receiver, a running back 1 in something. And anytime if that's the case, to me, like that's kind of the point where it's like, okay, Oh, I just went to 8-1 on FanDuel. It moved. See it live, moved, but it said that DraftKings also. So let's see if DK is moving. I'm on it on my phone here. That's Buccaneers, Lions, TD, score. Rashad White's late 50, so I'm getting in here. Rashad White, first touchdown, plus 850 on DK. Actually like that the odds are better on DK than FD for DVigging purposes as well. So locking in Rashad White, plus 850, first touchdown. Yesterday we bet 3 first touchdowns, 1 for 3, which is always fun. We hit on AJ Brown to have the first touchdown. That was nice. We missed out on CD, who of course ended up scoring. And who else did we bet? I have it right here. Who else do we have? We also had Alvin, who didn't end up doing anything, honestly, but nice to go 1 for 2 for profit on first, 1 for 3 for profit. And let's look at the Lion. Of course, Gibbs is the chalk. We're avoiding chalk. Monty at 602 is still like too chalky. Amon-Ra 7-1. I'm kind of out on JMO, as crazy as that might sound. Like, I don't think JMO has a big game. 12-1 also seems so short for JMO. Like, it's not like he's lighting up the touchdown board this year like he did last year. Only 2 touchdowns so far. Was capable of scoring, but we can also look at like receiving yard stuff. Like, it's so inconsistent. It could be so bad. And like a target share, 7 targets, only 1 target, 8 targets, 3 targets, 4 targets. Like, it's just so inconsistent. Pretty good NFL betting. I've never played first TD. I couldn't stand if he scored second. Yeah, it's annoying. But again, that's why we're talking about, in most cases, things that are at least 10-1, 12-1, as high as like 30-1 for some of the stuff that we bet for fun. Again, situations like this with Rashad White being an RB1 getting freaking 8.5-1, I'm interested in. AJ Brown hit on first tutty. Yeah, appreciate you, bro. That was fun. Going 1 for 3 on first tutties on the slate. Never complaining about that. MGM, if you have it, they do have a it's called a second chance, where if they score the second, you get your bonus bet back. And also Caesars dropped. I don't know how new it is, but they have like different odds for first touchdown, first or second, or like first, second, third, or fourth. Now the odds get worse. I feel like there has to be a bit of an edge there. I don't know how the pricing works for that, but it could be. What's his first touchdown for Bucks only? How much do odds drop? Odds drop pretty solid. But those markets exist. I think there actually are on Outlier. Yeah, first team TD score. This just Lions. Yeah, it's down to 310. So it is a pretty sizable drop. Definitely are some times where there are value in going in this market over the just general first touchdown market. Absolutely. But there is a relatively sizable drop off for just first team TD score overall. If the Lions, we could look at last touchdown, which is always fun too. If the Lions, where'd it go? Last TD score. Yeah, bro. Absolutely. It's there again, there are going to be some times where it's still worth it. Like if you're going for like a major long shot that like for first is like 30-1, but you're still getting like 20-1 for first team TD. If you're doing like a backup tight end or a fullback or like a wide receiver 4, there could be, but a lot of times it is a bit chalked, unfortunately. Last TD score, there's got to be some unique stuff like a Brock Wright. If the Lions are actually dominating this game, they love to run up the score. NFC opponent, they could do some crazy stuff here. Payne Durham on the Bucks, though, but still a curiosity here. 2025, no tutties. What's his anytime? 12-1, 31-1 at profit. So no real value there. What's his even target share? Is that 1 target on the year? That's just fun to look at. Got 9 minutes here for this game to start. Last player prop, first touchdown. I don't need to bet, of course, first touchdowns in every freaking game, but I like to go a lot more like deeper down the board here, like Tesla, maybe. I know his overall target share is like very low. They've yet to really like bring him on. And of course, they have so many guys to capitalize on with yeah, he's getting 5 targets a game. Like it's a funnel. What I've learned from that other game is the Lions coach loves getting his players a TD on special occasions, so we'll look out for that. Yeah, absolutely. Montgomery, I think the massive drop in the Gibbs odds for rushing yards is like kind of our indication of that. Anyone's birthday today. LOL. Let's see insights. Any birthdays on the insights here from Outlier? They do drop some like fun insights sometimes. A lot of them are more like trend based, which aren't really necessarily worth taking a look at, but gotta love a nice narrative street. There is that narrative street Twitter account. Let's do a quick search out of curiosity here. Narrative street. It's Kenny Walker's birthday. So in this game, maybe not. We have the KWB day. Um, that's all I'm seeing for today for NFL though from Narrative Street, which is hilarious. Um, Kenny Walker, Kenny Walker. Honestly, just from a pricing perspective, it's like I think it's just going to be Gibbs or even Monty 6-1, which to me is just like from a first touchdown, it's not nearly good enough, honestly, for me. Red zone attempts can be up there big time. I think him to score, what is it? Probably minus 120, minus 140, even worse than I thought. 115 at Novig. That could be potentially interesting or a parlay piece, but do have the 30% boost on FanDuel for a parlay. Let me just confirm. It's got to be a 3+ legger for either of these games. Like, not here to just like throw. Like, I know we love betting them on Sunday when we have full slate, but not fully but not fully like something that I need to take advantage of, or like I'm fiending for something where it's like, oh, I don't have anything. But also like, what's on DraftKings? What's the boost as well? It's like a 5-leg boost for me. It's just like, bro. Yeah, Baker loves Egbuka. I mean, it's obvious why. It seems like they're rushing him back a bit. I mean, like who am I to like, I guess judge per se of what to from like their like their medical departments, if they're clearing him, like of course they have to feel some sort of like they have to feel somewhat good about the fact that he is doing something correct, or like he is healthy enough to play. But give me 1 second here. I'm getting a text from a buddy asking about the YouTube channel, which I love, because if you guys are watching on X, go to YouTube and subscribe. Echo BetSmart. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, a like goes a long way. So really appreciate any likes on streams. That would be also amazing. I would really appreciate that. So let's go back to it. Yeah, no, I think we're gonna have to build something more, of course, with time being of the essence here. Not trying to like force anything. We got 7 minutes for this one, but we have what we have. We have Baker over rushing yards. We have Sterling Shepard anytime for the king of the end zone, and Rashad White first touchdown. To me, that's more than enough on a Monday night game that I didn't have a ton of EV locked and loaded on. But let's go to Houston, and we're going to use the FanDuel 30% boost on a SGP for this one. I'm not going to use the DraftKings 5-legger, like 5 legs, like for a 15% boost, and they're definitely going to give me like a higher payout or a higher max bet, which is what honestly it's like so annoying. If you guys like, again, there's going to be situations where there absolutely is value on some of these parlays, correlated legs, or just poor pricing, and you can find EV legs within the same game, and the correlation is not being priced in properly, and you can like get EV there in that way. But with that being said, like the fact that when books are giving you like a 3-legger and it's only a max bet of $10, and they do a 5-legger and the max bet goes up to $25, that's all you need to know, right? That's like all that needs to be said realistically. That's telling you how they want you to bet these crazy big leg parlays. But let's go and find something on FanDuel for the Texans Seahawks. So we do have the JSN under, which I still do feel strongly about. This could be a good leg. Let's get just Texans Seahawks. Final gun to head for the Buccaneers game because it's starting. I take Bucks spread and money line, but that's gun to head, so definitely don't take that to the bank because I have not bet that. So not pretending I have, but if I had to make a choice there, that's what it would be. And also in the YouTube comments, boys, please give me a like there. Let's see the likes go up. Oh, there they go. Appreciate everybody for hitting that like button. Let's see. So Jackson Smith and Jigba. Betting is under. It's scary. It's less than ideal. Not everybody loves to do it, but somebody's got to do it. Let's go to under. Let's see. FanDuel, I would guess, are they at 89.5? They are not. We bet it at DK, 89.5. Minus 111 also. So it has moved 2 cents since, which is great. We got 88.5. So it actually went up in a yard, unfortunately. I don't think that's a big deal, realistically, though. Obviously, it can come down to like the hooks there and whatnot. FanDuel is over 86.5 for this boost. So that's also like a bit annoying. Let's build out some things and we'll check out prices. Because if we do find 5 legs, we can go there. But I also mentioned that I'm interested in Nico Collins going under. I think this passing game is still just broken. I know they've had their big performances and they've played well. FanDuel at 74.5. So I'm going to add that. And I'm going to add the 73.5 because we're going to try to build both of them at the same time. If we do get the 5 legs that we like, we will bet it at DK with the boost, but we're going to stick to 3. Okay, let's go look at some. Let's go back to EV actually. Quick refresh. Let's see. Okay, Nico showing some value on overs. JSN touchdown over. I don't hate a correlation of JSN under receiving yards, but anytime touchdown. And if we're betting JSN unders, like Torrey Horton is definitely intriguing for Seattle as he is their like number 2 guy there. We are seeing value across the board for JSN here. Let's see Novig. Let's pull it up and see the liquidity for JSN to score a touchdown here on Novig. A lot of liquidity, $1,300 for JSN. I'm intrigued by that, honestly. I'm going to add that to my bet slip because I don't mind the correlation here of JSN under and over a touchdown. Let's pull up DraftKings here. 2 more legs for the boost if you want to get there and use it. But this to me is very, very interesting. What are we getting price-wise now? 10-1. Okay. We can get creative and get 2 more legs going. Again, we're talking about a crazy parlay, so like we shouldn't be expecting these things to come through. AJ Barner. Darnold O-pass TDs are a good value. Texans particularly good against the pass. It's plus 120. Texans are very good against the pass. And it's also a situation where the pass attempts in general for Darnold are just not high. So let's pull up some Darnold stuff. Because again, I bet the Texans under the premise again of like this is Darnold's biggest test. And while I think Texans do struggle to score, I do think it's a situation as well where it's going to be particularly difficult, though. Darnold, again, some great numbers against Jacksonville, Tampa Bay, Arizona, whose pass defense is pretty good. New Orleans, they didn't really need him to do anything. Pittsburgh, which we know now their defense is bad. We've seen it kind of all year. And Flacco keeping Tomlin up at night, proving that again on Thursday in that epic game, which I can't believe was already so long ago. Time is just freaking flying by. But let's look at go to passing touchdowns here. That's anytime. Need pass TDs. Oh, anytime 10-1. No, thank you. 135 is high. Magnifico actually here at ESPN. 151 at Novig. And as you see, passing touchdowns against number 1 in the NFL. So pricing wise too, if you're only getting 120, that's already a clear no bet. Like he could go over and hit, but we're trying to preach good process as well, brother. Like I don't know what your shopping situation is. Of course, if you have access to Novig Profit, absolutely should be both on your in your betting tool repertoire and use promo code BetSmart to get free money when you purchase on either of those platforms. But you can't bet the 120 with the market being what it is. Like, of course, at the end of the day, you can do whatever you want, but like that's just leaving a bunch of money on the table. And it is also a tough matchup where, again, this team runs the ball 30% of the time. And if you look at the completions or attempts, only 30 attempts are anticipated and 18.5 completions. So could be a game similar to like Jacksonville where like they're just not really throwing the ball. And again, when they do throw to JSM, but I do think that it's overall an under spot. Absolutely. Let's look for some more props here. We'll bet some first tutties. I know the first game's kicking off, but I'm not going anywhere. And like I promised, I will end with a quick ALCS look. We got an hour for that. Maybe we find a quick home run or something. Nico touchdown showing EV from FanDuel, but I don't love. I do think this is definitely like an under game. I was like, why am I only seeing a couple players? Because I have my filters up here. Let's get rid of those. We get rid of sacks. I don't really want to see sacks, honestly. It's a fun concept, but haven't really dove into the EV for sacks and pricing some of that out. But Chubb rush attempts showing EV here at DK. I think it's SGPable at DK as well. So let's add that. 118 at Novig, 125 to Penny at 135, and FanDuel at 130 as well. Seeing negative EV in both of them, though, at 118. It's only 5 cents better. It's not like it is much better, realistically. So probably not a great spot. But Stroud over rushing yards. 17.5 at Novig. FanDuel at 112. So they definitely like it. We are building out a parlay, and with the boost, we will be getting, some EV recuperated there. Interested in that. And Cooper Kupp, Schultz. Where's I can't think of his name, but once I see it, I'll remember. Not AJ Barner, the other tight end. What's his name? I mean, I'll just click into Barner. I'll find. Oh, it's like Elijah Arroyo. I'm intrigued by Elijah Arroyo. 2.5 receptions plus 317 doesn't really get there. Target share only 1.5 targets. That's an alternate line here. Under 1.5, 133 at DK, 142. This could also be interesting. Let's see what this is at DK with these 4 legs here. Let's see what we're priced at right now. So we have, again, that 15% boost. 10 to 1. We're missing a leg, though. We're missing the Arroyo. Under. The thing is, I might not let us SGP that because they're so annoying with it. Receptions under. Should be able to. Says he's in there, but he's clearly not. Let's get him in there now. 13 to 1. I think this should be bigger. I know we could be adding another leg here. Chubb receiving yards. 0 against Baltimore, 15. Had a big run. He broke away, though. And Market showing some love for Woody Marks as well. I don't expect this game to, really... Again, I do expect an under type of game. Doesn't mean that there won't be any love, but, maybe a situation to bet some unders on some of these receivers. Even a low number, 12.5. It's still intriguing. Caesars. What's... Is DK even pricing this? Let's go back to DK manually here. Let's look at if they are even pricing Noel. 16.5 for Noel under. And Higgins 26.5. This 16.5 is actually off market. As you see, it's 13.5 for Noel. This is the best price here. I actually like that Noel at... I have Woody Marks. What am I doing? Oh, I clicked the wrong button. That's why. The 16.5 for Noel under receiving yards. I actually like this a lot. Let me take this Outlier link. I'm gonna put this in chat right now on YouTube, so you guys can click it and see. Because Outlier, they have the great feature where you can share your links. Generates a link here quickly from your bet slip. I'm going to post this in YouTube, so anyone on YouTube who wants to quickly tail can. I'm going to use that to click that link and pull up on my phone instantaneously so I can bet it. Got my stream going. It's not letting me. I got to switch my account here. Switch account to one of my personals and get myself another viewer on stream. Let's go. Now clicking the link pulls up Outlier on your phone. Then you can add right to BetSlip. I'm betting this straight as well. Actually, one of the legs did not come in. Which leg was that? It was the Noel under because it's showing that it's not showing, but it is showing. I'm literally staring at it. Receiving props, receiving yards. Jalen Noel. Oh, went to 15 and a half. It just moved on us. Still showing 16 and a half here in this slip, but I'm not logged in. So again, it's a bit of a snooze you lose, unfortunately. What leg am I missing? Arroyo check, JSN check. Oh, that's why. Stroud over rushing yard should not be in there. It should be JSN touchdown. Okay. 23-1 with the boost, 26.54. So I'm in. And I'm betting that Jalen Noel under 15 and a half receiving yards. Let's actually go back to the market and let's see if we get the best price. Like prize pick, that's a great square. 15 and a half minus 116. Let's pull that up again. I don't think that was the price. At 116, it's like a little bit worth maybe potentially holding off. No, it's 110. Okay. I'm in. I am in. I'm in. There was some EV to his touchdown, but that doesn't mean he gets 16 receiving yards, score touchdown, as we know. Perfect. So now we have the FanDuel boost, and then we'll call it a stream. We'll actually look at MLB, like I mentioned, but let's get out of here. We know that the Lions game is underway. Might as well stay on the stream because do some live betting on Lions Bucks. Biz, I would love to. It's more just unfortunately tonight I can't, but doing some live streams and live betting is definitely on my agenda. So I appreciate the sentiment, and I guarantee you I will be getting into some more live betting content and doing some live betting as well. But unfortunately cannot tonight. Have a couple of big YouTube videos coming on the way for the channel, and I need to get some stuff done for that tonight as well. But I think they're going to be some series that you guys absolutely love. So looking forward to getting that content out for everybody as well. But yeah, let's wrap up with some first tutties and this FanDuel boost as well. It's a 3-leg parlay, so we have to get back to the roots a bit there. I'm interested in seeing. Let's we have all our props going. Stroud under passing touchdowns is heavy juiced. This to me, I know he hasn't been dog in this scenario. Don't get me wrong. 2 against Tennessee, they have the ground game, and who was it? St. Brown. There's always going to be chalk for the first tutty here. Like it's understandable. That's why we didn't even look at anything other than just one first touchdown. Okay, so there goes that. Amon-Ra, Jared Goff, 57 yards on the first drive. Could be a Lions absolute smack blowout situation there. But what's the over? 140 at ESPN. FanDuel 138. Okay. Alrighty. FanDuel 108 for Sharber's rushing attempts over 11.5. Darnold pass TDs showing EV though, but that's again at no vig and profit. I don't like Darnold in this matchup. I know it's you bet the matchup for the price, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's a good situation. I mean, usually use the 5 legs that I really did like the most overall into that parlay there. Now, this could be like a mayhem game where if you do bet like the 3 correct touchdown scores, it could be good. But I'm going to pull up FanDuel actually here, and let's just build some stuff pre-boost a bit manually here. AJ Barner, I don't even remember adding that to my slip, but interesting. NFL. So yeah, I'm still seeing games live. Like, am I supposed to just lock in right now? Broncos minus 4. Imagine. Yeah, that market never closed. I wonder what happened in that game. I wonder if the Giants are going to blow a lead and let 33 points in the fourth quarter. There's no way that happens, right? No shot in hell. Let's see. I'm just curious what touchdowns are. Walker at 155 is always interesting. Well, the 160 because I clicked it. Went to 145, and this one just jumping. Something's wrong with FanDuel today. I don't know if it's just me or just New York. Something is up. Again, a game that I really do like the under, so um, potentially just a good use of like the boosted stuff here. Game specials. Nah, I hate these markets. What was I looking for? I am though curious, like what some of these like most receiving yards props are, especially because I do think that Collins and JSN are fades. Um, all these markets is crazy. Game specials receiving, no. I want most receiving yards. I'm very curious what they're pricing people at for this. JSN even. See, this is interesting. We did fade Noel, so he's obviously not going to be top of that. He's not even listed here. Jaden Higgins at 17-1. Now it's 22. Okay, this is all. Yeah, like I don't know what's happening with the interface here. Just like delayed. Saying it's going down, it's not going down. I don't know what's happening with FanDuel. Um, could be straight chalk situation. Let's curious to look at rushing as well. Most rushing yards of the game. Walker leading Sharp at 3-1. Woody at 5-1 is honestly interesting. It really is. Let's go back here. Let's look at some Woody stuff. So I know his prices in market have gone up. Let's look at some Woody stuff. He wouldn't have rush attempts showing EV to the over. I know the rushing game is horrible for the Texans. Don't get me wrong. It is a good matchup. The Seahawks running game has been fantastic, but with the split between Sharp and Walker, I think this definitely could be some value. Let me look at DraftKings here. And Noel went down to 14.5. So we did make a good bets looking like there for the under 15.5. And some people got in at 16.5, which is great. But I want to see what DraftKings is pricing that at for most rushing yards. Woody's 550. He's 500. So actually bet there. But like if we do cook up a crazy lay for the boost, which is like definitely doable. Like Woody most rushing yards. Popular. I mean, the under, that's definitely like correlated though, of course. Underdog getting, having the leading rusher as well as the total going under, which I hate doing in parlays because of course you're already betting like something that's bad. There's not going to be any EV that you're capitalizing on. All right, let's wrap it up here and let's find 3 legs here. I do like some Woody. I'm going to bet some Woody over rush yards. Keep it at 29.5, which is fair. That's basically 30 plus. So I'm going to add that to FanDuel right now, do it manually. NFL, Woody Marks. Rushing props, Woody Marks. Over 29.5. So AKA over 30 plus. Very nice. In on Woody today, absolutely. Let's get rid of just Woody. Didn't bet any Nico under yet. I'm going to add Nico under to this as well. Receiving props. There's some correlation though. Of course, that's going to be priced in, but Nico under receiving yards. 74.5 plus 220. And we need one more leg for this one. Honestly, I can go with KW touchdown. Plus 155. That brings us to 775. With the boost, we have 1008. I'm locking that in. So Nico Collins under 74.5 receiving yards. Woody Marks over 29.5 rushing yards. And Kenneth Walker anytime touchdown. Nothing's showing up in my FanDuel. It's not showing me my bets. FanDuel is tripping today. Let's look for a first study, and then we'll again do a quick run through of the MLB game. We have the Bucks going 3 and out, unfortunately. But let's see some first study odds. I feel like we get some sexy odds, honestly. JSN 7-1, Walker 8-1, Sharp 7.5, Woody at 14-1. This is again assuming he does basically like take over. He did score that first one in the Tennessee game. ESPN this 14-1 is honestly, I'm in on the Woody game. The Woody, not revenge game, but the Woody breaking out after the bye game He's obviously done some good things for them so far. ESPN always takes 6 months to load for me. It's so annoying. But yeah, 14-1 for Woody. I am in. And let's find ourselves a Seahawk, and then we'll go to some MLB. And let's go to some MLB here. See, back to player props. First touchdown scorer. Cooper 14-1. No. Barner potentially. Where is Arroyo? Like Barner has been getting the more target share here against tight ends. Let's see the numbers here against tight ends for the Texans. They're killing it against tight ends. Absolutely doing a great job so far this year. No tight end has scored against them. Is that true? Yep. No tight end has scored against them so far this season, which is interesting, worth noting. Absolutely. Yeah, a punt already from the Buccaneers, unsurprisingly. Bit of lag here. Barner getting the more, but Arroyo is so much more intriguing to me. I think it's Arroyo season, honestly. TD's price crazy high. I think they do like this kid overall. I'm going to bet some Arroyo. FanDuel temporarily unavailable. FanDuel is bugging. That's not just me. It's whatever's going on. I don't know if it's AWS again or what. FanDuel not wanting to comply on an NFL Monday doubleheader day. Annoying. Arroyo 4-1. Let's see where else it's at. 3-1, 30-1, 40-1. So 365, the best play to bet this, undoubtedly. I'll check MGM to see because they also have the second chance as well. Let's see what MGM has it at for Arroyo. Let's see, NFL. These books, man, everything's lagging for me today. I don't even have that many tabs open. I don't know what the hell is going on. Computer's been great for streaming. We've been cooking, never having any delays or hiccups. Everything's been great, like a mini little lag sesh here and there. You know, what are you going to do? But overall, things have been solid. But let's see. First TD score, Elijah Arroyo, 25-1. So 365 really is hooking up the best price by a long shot. Caesar's 26-1 then, or DraftKings 30-1. So it is a DraftKings bet if you don't have 365 as well. Let's should we do Woody Marks most rushing yards, Arroyo first touchdown? Obviously not, but I'm just so curious what the odds are. So curious. Yeah, boys. It can't be parlayed. Oh yeah, you can't parlay that, but you can on FanDuel. I know the odds are worse. This is wasting time for no reason, but I'm interested. Rushing props. Let's just see. Let's just see what it would be. Let's see how they're scamming us here. Even though again, this is definitely not a bet to make. I'm just so curious. Yeah. Boys, let's lock in. $100, 19K. Easy as that. Nah. Arroyo first touchdown. I'm locking it in. Locking in on DK. All right, let's go to the Mariners game. That's it for Sunday night. We have more than enough action. Of course, the Buccaneers game is live. We have Baker over rush yards. We lost Rachaad White first tutty, but that was fine. We have Jalen No. Oh, that's this game. We have Shepard touchdown. The only thing we're sweating now is Shepard touchdown. Very light for that game. Baker rush yards, Shepard touchdown. That's about it. And hopefully we get in for this Texas game. Texans was 3.5. JSN under 88.5 receiving. Jalen Noel under 15.5 receiving. A DK parlay boosted Arroyo under receptions. JSN anytime. Noel under receiving yards. JSN under receiving yards. Collins under receiving yards. So heavy under, but with the JSN touchdown mixed in, that's plus 26.45. So some reverse correlation there. I know I bet the Arroyo under, but I am betting the anytime or the first touchdown here as well for him at 30-1 at DK. So let's talk some MLB. That's a very nice slate for the NFL. 2 games. I love the 2 games. Honestly, I know I'm going to be up late and my sleep schedule is going to be screwed, but what are you going to do? Elijah Arroyo, 30-1. So I have a Mariners future. I had Mariners Dodgers exacta. Um, Obviously we're in game 7 here. I'm not hedging. I decided it's just like there's no EV. The EV is to just ride. So I'm obviously just riding the math. I have a 31-1 now at plus 115. Which like what do you like? Come on, like let's do it. But let's look at how the market moved. And maybe we'll find a quick home run or something for fun. I haven't been betting playoffs much at all. Toronto 130 FanDuel, 115 at 365. Let's see how the market has moved here. Odds for Seattle. Yeah, we're seeing some movement in Toronto's direction for sure. Penny opening at 105, bouncing up and down, up and down, up and down, sitting 115, 114 really right before first pitch here. Toronto, you can look at how they have moved as well. Of course, same story, just in reverse realistically. 116 up to 117, 120s now, sitting now at Penny at 123. So soft odds over at Poly, though I don't believe that realistically. Player props for the MLB. Quick look. We'll just look at bases. So many markets. RBIs I love as a market. Runs as well. Stolen bases, strikeouts. That should be good enough for now. HRR as well. Of course, we got this one game tonight. See if anything pops. See an EV symbol next to it. Do I have home runs? Did I click home runs? Nope, didn't click home runs. Yeah, I just got a message. Just FanDuel down. Yes, down. Yeah, it's down, unfortunately. Maybe it's back by now, but we've been having our issues. Let's see here. Let's go to some players. We'll click hand zone to start. Let's see, Ken Zone. We got Shane Bieber going for the Toronto and Kirby going for the Mariners. Kirby got rocked in that last game that he started in this series. Springer absolutely cooking here against Kirby. Extra base hit batting 375, very small sample size as well. But Springer's been their best player, hitting extra base hits all game long. What's his HRR? That's 132. That makes sense. Total bases. 117 total bases. DK. I love this, honestly. Let's confirm that availability. That is actually a really great price. Springer's been cooking on the total base department. We're gonna have a bunch of legs, I think, yeah, left over from this. Let's get out of all this. 117. Yeah, I like the short Springer. Could do a mix bag there. Woody Marks most rushing, parlayed with George Springer telebases. Who says no? Who says no? Woody Marks plus 550, most rushing yards Springer. I like this a lot. Let's see his home run. Now, filter to playoffs here. A couple of dongs, as we know. Against Seattle, Springer's been on one. Absolutely. Let's look at who else in the lineup here. I know who has been absolutely cooking him. Let's obviously look at Vladdy. 320. I know he's been absolutely on fire. 342 at Novik. It's just like way too short for a home run. Even if he goes yard, he's obviously been absolutely on fire in the playoffs. Like insane, like so epic. Kirby's gone to him though. Very small sample sizes, so not worth it. I'm rooting for the Mariners. I hope they end up pulling through here, and I like the George Springer. I think that's a really good look. He's somebody who again has just been covering. And when it comes to the playoffs, I love backing guys who have been like absolutely on fire, and keeping it up in these small samples. So the Bucks got the ball back. Okay, let's get some love to Sterling, man. All right, boys, that's gonna wrap it up for today. I appreciate you. I'll be back on Wednesday as always at 7:30 Eastern for my best bet stream with Jake. Stream Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. NBA is coming up as well tomorrow, so I will have some NBA streams getting mixed in as well, with football being the focus, and then doing some NBA stuff. So thank you everybody for tuning in. If you guys are interested in a free trial of Outlier, click the link under the stream or on YouTube in the description and give Outlier a try. It's a great tool. It's helped us find every bet that we found so far today. Great data, great interface, advanced data, EV calculations as well, line shopping, real-time odds. It's really helps simplify the betting process. So shout out to everybody. I'll see you guys next time and appreciate it.